need to make sure that we have the right facts. And the right facts were that the guy in New Orleans was an American. He wasn't an illegal
Nobody's saying he wasn't.
That's not true. That's not true. There have been Republicans who have been on TV today talking about how this is an open border.
I'll call them myself.
You call them. That it's an open border
not
problem.
Mutually exclusive. That's not a mutually exclusive problem. You can have someone who's homegrown,
but you know
radicalized,
what they're trying to do? They're trying to conflate it. They're trying to make it out to be that it is a demonization
Both things can happen at the same time.
Undocumented people. That's what it was supposed to be. That's why you talked about it going to.
And we
but these aren't undocumented people. These are Americans.
75% of the arrests in New York City are illegals. Let's stop playing games.
Move the goalposts. Move it as far as you want. Sugar Bowl wide. Whatever.
Whatever. Coming up. Major safety concerns across the U.S., allegedly.
Hello and welcome to Homefront Headlines. I'm Amanda Weinstein.
And I am Casey Weinstein. And Amanda just informed me that she got mojito essenced LaCroix here today, which I didn't know was a thing. So look out. This show might go off the sidelines. I don't know. I don't think you can get tipsy off of Essence.
No, but I think it works for you do dry January.
Mm-hmm, I do. I am doing dry January. We are 3 days in.
I do not, but I support you in your endeavors.
We're in our third day and you made me a mocktail.
That's true. Yeah, I know. I support you.
We have mocktails. It's good because the Surgeon General just said that alcoholic drinks need to carry a warning.
Well, what does RFK say?
Well, my mind can't even imagine what his crazy warped mind would say. But
we don't want to step in there.
No,
there is plenty of crazy to go around.
And scary.
Lots of scary. I know.
Attack,
New Orleans.
Yeah, the attack in New Orleans. What's really scary to me about these kinds of events now is that within minutes on X in particular, and of course Truth Social, you're going to see the really scary demagoguery and spin on it. And they did not let us down this time.
No, I mean, and this is serious, right? Someone drove a truck into a crowd, steps out, opens fire. At last I saw 15 dead. Have you seen something? Many more injured. Just terrible loss of life that should not ever happen. Seems to happen in this country more often.
Yeah. Well, when you stoke rage and divisiveness, unfortunately, I'm
give
afraid,
the divisiveness guns.
Right. I'm afraid we're going to see more of this. And I hope that's not the case, but
but it's not the divisiveness. It's immigrants, according to Trump.
Yeah.
Even though he's not an immigrant, born in Texas.
Born in Texas, served in the U.S. Army, American citizen. But immediately Trump did the thing that he does, which is to tie it to open borders and, scapegoat, classic move. And here we are. Now he's blaming.
Well, they used to scapegoat it on mental health, which, to be clear, I do think there was probably some mental health issues going on with, it seems there was some family struggles. There's also the Cybertruck thing that happened at Trump Tower.
Yeah.
Also, a guy who shot himself and then blew up the Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower. There are some clear mental health issues, but people were quick to point out Republicans don't do anything to address mental health issues. So they have to scapegoat something else.
Yeah, that they've moved on from at least offering a token policy that they never actually do anything on to now just scapegoating. So
because that's easier.
It's migrants.
We don't want to do anything about mental health, which there's a lot we can do on mental health issues.
Yeah.
We have a wide lack of access to healthcare in general. It's even wider for mental health care.
And you're talking policy and actual solutions.
Yes.
And what they're doing is just stoking anger. And we're getting a preview of the next 4 years. Whenever anything goes wrong, it's just blame and deflect and lie. That's the really scary thing is, can our institutions in our country withstand 4 more years of this blatant lying?
I mean, I think we have to get really good at hitting back at the blatant lying, calling it out, and then quickly taking the wheel back from the insane people that are Trump and his whole crew and being like, hey, let's steer this toward actual policy solutions. Let's talk about access to mental health care. Let's talk about access to guns. Let's talk about access, what we can actually do at every level, state, local, federal, to address these real issues. Steer it back to what can we actually do?
Yeah. Solutions. Yeah. Right. I mean,
there are a lot of solutions out there. We have red flag laws that a lot of states don't have.
Yeah. what worries me is the speed that his lies can travel. It's that there's that saying, like, a lie travels around the world before the truth can get out the door. And we're going to have to be on top of our game to counter that. There was I think a Washington Post checker or something of how many lies he told in the last administration.
Oh God, so many.
It is going to be a daily barrage. And we need to stay ahead of it. And it just worries me that, like, the anger he's whipping up toward people, that's going to be another hallmark of his second term.
I think anger helps him. I don't think it helps the Dems. I've always thought this. I think the hope and positive and what we can do, I think that's what spurs the Democratic base. And we need to focus on that. And the lies are to distract, right? That's always what they've been about.
Right.
Distract.
Right.
Talk about what they want to talk about, which is lies. Not talk about what government could actually be doing, governing.
Right. Speaking of hope, you and I have been talking about the fact that this super narrow majority in the House of Representatives was going to lead to gridlock like last time. So you were talking earlier about policies and solutions. Well, guess what?
They don't have those.
They will struggle mightily, or they will not be able to pass their agenda. And their agenda, by the way, incredibly unpopular.
Oh.
Okay, Project 2025 is
super
the agenda.
Unpopular. All of their policies are unpopular.
Defund veterans. Strip funding from the most critical programs. Restrict reproductive rights. They're already talking about that. Raw milk, bird flu outbreaks. Maybe some measles. Make measles great again. Like, I don't know. It is going to, just from an administrative and policy perspective, it will be very hard and very unpopular to get through. Meanwhile, the Democrats have an opportunity the whole time to offer
actual solutions, actual policies.
Yeah.
But we also need to talk about what they're doing, because they are so unpopular. They're going to spin lies because they want us to talk about the lies instead of what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And what they're actually doing is really bad. I mean, there's news articles out recently with even like restricting reproductive freedom leads to babies in dumpsters. That's what it leads to.
God.
Not good.
Yeah. Brutal. Like, the headlines, I don't know, like, just mentally preparing myself for what it's going to be like, and remembering, like, how exhausting it was for those 4 years. We're going to have to pace ourselves, but just be ready to immediately offer a policy and a solution, be the adults in the room, tell us how that a policy is going to affect positively people's families, and just watch them crash and burn trying to cut Social Security, cut Medicare, cut Medicaid, privatize the VA, privatize the post office, draconian cuts across, like, all services. Are they going to increase taxes on billionaires though?
Oh no.
No.
They're going to decrease it. We're going to have to pay for all that stuff.
Right. So they're just going to hit really the middle America.
And I've had people ask me before, so you have won in districts that are Republican leaning in Ohio, also not red if you've seen Ohio lately. And you ran on very progressive issues, talking about the environment. And they've asked me how. And I say, you always connect every issue to how it actually affects people's homes, people's household, people's families. And you talk about, when the environment, you talk about our kids who have childhood asthma and what it's like having to take your daughter to the ER because she can't breathe. And you connect your policies to families, your kids' hearing aids bill, how that affects families. Like, we need to do that with every policy, with everything.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. It's like, for the environmental issues, Nora, our eldest daughter, was struggling with childhood asthma. That was a visceral moment when she had to have her x-ray. And the doctors told us that on bad weather days or bad air quality days, which we've had recently, that her breathing would be harder. It's such a fundamental thing. Yes, talking about climate change is incredibly important, but so is air quality and water quality and the cost of energy. All three of those things, by the way, can be solved by moving to cleaner energy. But when you connect it to people and their families, they really see it. Energy costs, if we're talking about inflation and prices, energy costs are being kept artificially high because we are subsidizing coal. We are subsidizing fossil fuels, and we are preventing, because of our grid being too old and our slow
the federal
approval
government and our
process.
state government.
Right.
Our state subsidized coal plants.
Yeah, 2 of them. One
in
of which,
Indiana.
one of them is in Indiana. I went there. One of the coal plants is in Indiana, and they're getting $500,000 a day paid for by Ohioans. So connecting it that way is helpful, and people understand it, and it takes the politics out of it. It takes the divisiveness out of it.
And I think when we talk about water quality, right? Clearly we drink water. We need good water quality.
And mojito essence LaCroix.
But also, even within 5-10 minutes of us, we have seen rivers that now have river otters. We have seen bald eagles come back. We have a Great Lake. It literally is great by definition. It is a Great Lake, right? Having that water quality is great for us to do things. We've seen more people kayaking on the Cuyahoga River now than I've ever saw. When we first moved here, I never saw anyone. Did you see anyone kayaking on that river?
Never.
I now see people kayaking. I mean, this is amazing to have as recreation and things to do. And this is what people want in their communities. And one thing I think we need to do is, I think we focus too much on the federal level, and more legislation is done at the state and local level. And it's not close.
What's your phrase? When they go low?
That's Katie Pierce. I love it. Red, Wine, and Blue, Katie Pierce. When they go low, we go local.
Shout out to Katie. Sorry, I didn't mean to call that, but I love it because
Still love it.
The clean water programs that we passed. I just got sworn into the Senate last night, and I talked. And Amanda was my MC. She's a little under the weather, but got through it.
My voice mostly gave out at the end.
She got through it.
It's a lot of talking. I don't know how you do it.
I have a lot of training, or practice. I talked about our accomplishments over the 3 terms in the House.
In the super
minority. And we got clean water done through H2 Ohio. We did land preservation. We did do some things to help spur efficiency, at least on the House side. We did a lot of things that I'm really proud of. Infrastructure. We did a big infrastructure bill, big public school funding increase, raised teacher pay, big increase in wraparound services. We did this in a bipartisan way, and our governor helped with these things too. Or he led on some of them. People want to see the bald eagles. They want the clean water. They
want to go kayaking on rivers,
right?
Left or right. People want things to do. Even if you're not kayaking, I'll bet other people like kayaking.
And these things were all done at the state level. Of course, the federal government can put all that, can juice all that, and can do a lot more. And we have over the last 4 years, thanks Joe Biden. But we over the next 4 years, that's a lot of the game because of the gridlock and the unhelpfulness of the federal government. It's going to be state and local. It's going to be state and local. We'll be okay.
State and local. Yeah. And there's more that everyone can do at the state and local level.
Your impact is greater when you get involved. And by the way, if you have an issue that you want to get involved in, invite your local legislator to coffee. They will come to coffee. I had a constituent coffee this morning.
You do.
I do.
You go to many coffees. They should.
Yeah.
If they're not, talk about it and tell them that they won't be.
I've had hundreds of coffees with constituents where we sit down.
You're well known for meeting with anyone and everyone about any issue.
Right. And
big or small.
It's a way to, and I can't say most. Hopefully your legislator is accessible.
Yeah. Oh no, you know legislators who are not accessible.
Yeah. I do, unfortunately. But it's a way for you to connect your passion to policy. And as we just said, that state and local government policy, which you can have more influence in and of, will take center stage as we have gridlock. Remember,
which is how you got your hearing aids bill. And that's how we got expanded healthcare access, because of a friend who didn't realize that hearing aids for their daughter, Madeline, it's called Madeline's Law, wasn't covered. And there are families that can't afford it. This is how we get expanded healthcare access, is through the involvement of a lot of people, concerned parents, people that care, with their state legislators. Can actually do good work.
Yeah, you're right.
Got a lot of good work we can do.
The very first bill I offered in my first term and the very last vote of my last term, lame duck, we passed out Madeline's Law. It passed the Senate, and the governor just signed it last night into law. Yay! So I think that's a positive note. The federal government, Congress is going to be
Shit show.
Shit show?
I think you can.
Right.
I mean, it's what it is, just factual.
It is. So the game is state and local. Get involved, reach out, and you can make a real difference in your communities. And that's what we talk about here on Homefront Headlines. Yeah. All right. Well,
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year. We've got snow here, taking the kids tubing this weekend. It's going to be great. I'm Casey Weinstein, and this is my wife,
Amanda Weinstein.
and wishing you another great week.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.